I am. I'm live. Very much so. Yeah, and slightly sodden, to be honest, a bit windswept. Yeah, I had to go up my garage this morning and spotted on Facebook that one of my contacts was having a bit of a clear out of their stock. This is a lovely chap who used to do house clearances and sadly had a stroke a few years back. Young fella, just absolutely awful. But he's back in the groove and he's working. And what he does is he buys stuff from auction and then obviously cherry picks and sells off what he knows and specialises in. And then the rest of the stuff seems to end up in a selection of sheds in his back garden. So every now and again, when stuff isn't shifting, hi Lex, when stuff isn't shifting, he kind of puts out a message to us and says, I'm having a clear out, which basically means go and fill your boots. And I did. I got an IKEA bag absolutely full of stuff. Now, I paid £20 for everything you're going to see today. There's doubtless profit there, but it has to be said that water had gotten in to some of his outbuildings. It was a bit like one of those pics that you see on the American channels where you see people clambering through boxes. And I mean, it really is a bit like that. And I'm sure there were things I missed just because I didn't want to keep moving everything and delving. There's very little amount of jewellery, Lex, I have to warn you. just a heads up. It's a very eclectic mix of things. And I was literally just going, picking things of interest because I know his prices are going to be good. And, I said, how much do you want for this? Because that's how it works. And he said, oh, I don't know, make me an offer. I said, 20 quid? Thinking he'd want more. And he nearly bit my hand off, so I was very pleased. Hello, Cherry. Now, we're not keeping you awake, are we? Oh no, Lex, stay. There's a tiny bit of jewellery, but not much. Tiny bits and pieces. The first things I got are exceedingly soggy, and they're going to require a clean. They're Uggs, but they're wet Uggs. Now, they've not been long wet. They literally must have got wet last night. I suspect he put the boxes out in his outbuildings, but they are the real thing as far as I can tell. They seem very genuine. I will attempt some cleaning. I mean, I'm not going to spend ages on them. I will dry them off. I will reshape them. I will buff them up and trim off loose bits. I can't do big cleans because I really haven't got the time. But bless them, I don't know what size these are. They're not it's even a bit soggy inside. What size are you? 7, women's 7. So in theory they'd fit me, but they're not my colour. Wugs, they are wugs. They're a little soggy. So I will stuff those with newspaper and get them to dry off and then see about giving them a bit of a clean. But yes, and it's kind of the inside it's the quality of the inside that kind of tells you it's real. I was fine. I don't know. I've just seen enough real ones, I think, to know when they're not, I think. Okay, well. Electronics. I'm not the only person who's bought electronics, am I, Lex? You bought some mad device. I bought this. The Casio financial consultant. Who knew? Who needs an accountant when you've got one of these? Your electronic friend. Whoops. Anyway, I haven't a clue about this, but it deals with compound interest, amortization, whatever the hell that is, cash flow. There is a user guide. Thank goodness. And it is the FC200V, I'm assuming. No, it's the 100V. This covers both. But it looks like a calculator. But, these kind of specialist calculators should work. I can always turn them on, but never off. Oh, okay, it does work. It's on. How do you turn them off there? That's always the thing. I can never see the off button. There's the off button. Says off. Right, well, we'll come back to that later. It's in super condition. But yes, the FC100V, the electronic calculator from Casio, known as the financial consultant. And it's gold too. That's the only bit of gold I've got today, though. Right, I'm gonna have to deal with that because I don't know where the off switch is. So that's kind of cool and different. I'll put that there. The rest of the stuff I'm going to have to put from one box to another. Excuse the appearance. I have not had time to wash my hair. I know that sounds daft. I was meant to do it this morning, but I'll do it a bit later. I thought I'd do this first. A Scion Palm Top, 1998. Woohoo, vintage. And it works. I'm impressed. I've never heard of one. I hope it gets good money. There's lots of tiny, tiny things in here. I picked this up because it's made in Japan. And I kind of quite like the finish. It's got this texture wave running through it, which is a very sort of 80s kind of thing. Is it 80s, 90s thing? Yeah. I'm not totally sure how good this is, but anyway, it's kind of interesting. And it did have a made in Japan on the bottom. Just intriguing. But actually now I look at it more closely, and this is the problem with picking things in adult thing. It's actually started to come off. So that's a dud. So there we go. That's a shame. Yeah. It's obviously an applied layer that goes on, and the water, of which there was plenty, got to it. So okay, that's going. It's a shame, so it's quite nice. 150 quid. Wow. That is so cool. Okay, so I was expecting to find the odd dud in this lot because I literally was on my hands and knees going through muddy puddles. This is for White and Mackie, Scotch Whisky, Glasgow, Scotland, modelled by a name of somebody in 1972, Bezic. Hasn't he got a silly face? It's a very silly face. No, I don't know if these things are worth anything, but I've literally filled the bag for 20 quid, which isn't quite as good as the filler bag for 3 quid, but I've got some nice stuff in there. So he's rather nice, and water didn't bother him at all. What a face, though. I like that. Now I'm going to have problems knowing where to put things now. In fact, yesterday I bought a job lot of horror movies, a whole pound. I got 10 of the damn things. I've got The Exorcist and all sorts. And the thing is, do we watch them and then sell them, or do I just sell them? Yeah, of course. I don't mind. It's a gamble and it's part of the fun. Right, I picked this up. I know that brand. That's a very well-known brand of threads. Again, it needs a little clean up because, but it's one of these. Oh, no, I had this before. One of these fold-out rulers, and it's actually quite long. 2 meters? Is it 2 meters? 400? Anyway, it's got a lot of things, and there's a lot of it, as you can see. So that's a really long fold-out ruler, which I thought was kind of cool, and especially being the Silka brand. Watch them, yes, I think I will. And my son's always looking for good movies. I'm like, well, could be interesting. We might have to have a horror movie fest in the next couple of evenings. Oh, Lex, you'll like these. Slightly saucy cards. I have to make sure they're complete. Luckily, they were in plastic. And they are these very, very saucy ladies. I mean, I think they are quite vintage. Oh, she's upside down. Oh, nearly a nip slip. I mean, very rarely. They're not branded. Face fist. Oh, I'm back again. Not sure what happened there. That must be the weather, which has calmed down a bit here. We've had the torrential rain, but they're absolutely stunning. I just think they're so cool. What's not to love? Saucy ladies. I'll check that they're complete. That we've actually got the full 52. But how could I not? They were fun. I'm going to start stacking things, and there's probably going to be a great slippage at some point. Here we go. This has still got the raindrops on it. Very kitsch. A couple of herons on copper. That is so of its time. It hasn't got a brand or anything. It's quite old, but it's not in the best condition. But, you know, someone might love it. It's cost me next to nothing, really. I mean, half of this stuff is still rather soggy. Now, I picked this up because it is actually a very early plastic. I don't know if it's Bakelite. But look, it's all... That's weird. And you can tell it's plastic because on the back there's these turnable Oh, you Bakelite. It just felt weird. And I thought, ooh, that's strange. Can't tell if I can smell it. It says something on here. What's going on? Where's my eye? I needs my eye. Oh my God, I have to clean and tidy up. Not entirely sure what they are. Let me hold that a little closer. See what I mean? They're like little bats or something. Anyway, that appealed to my sense of, ooh, that's weird. And reasonably old and a bit plastic. So this is going to give me a lot of research, I think. Yeah. There's bits of that vase all coming off everywhere now. Right. Oh, yes. Where's the rest of this? This I thought was cool. Comes in 2 parts. Actually, look at that. Needs a good clean up. What's that say? Norge. Goes that way. I had it upside down. Norge. So it is Norway. Nice Viking longboat. It's just kitsch, really. Again, all these things are stinking dirty, to be perfectly honest. Very, very grubby. And now I'm looking at it more closely. I think bits are broken off, possibly as well. That might have had a much more pointed end. Well, we'll do a bit of a looky-see. I am expecting some duds in here because, like I say, it was a bit of a free-for-all, really. Ooh. Now, I liked this. I do like a box. It's really nicely carved. Little elephant. An elephant and lion, maybe, on there. Oh, hello, Veranda Files. And I do know your name, and I'm absolutely appalling for not. Now, someone has obviously kept crayons in here. Very faded. Smells of crayons. But it has a key with it. Don't know if it is the right key. Trust me to wear black when I'm doing something. I think that might not be the right key for that. But hey-ho. Doesn't really matter. The key might fit something else. But it's just got some very nice kind of detailing along it. And it's got some age to it. Now, it's been bashed around, without a doubt. It has had corners knocked off. So we're selling it as is. But there we go. You know, when you're getting stuff and it's nothing, it's kind of not a bad thing. Why did I pick him up? Because he's a turtle, a sea turtle, and he's quite cute. I don't know how old some of these things are, but it means I need to beef up my bric-a-brac. Things that I do like picking up. Here's a box. And inside, some very nicely carved chess pieces. Actually, it looks like he's just a rocket up him, doesn't he? But they're quite nicely done. There's black little pawns. These are wood, not plastic, but they're quite finely done. No board with this. This is the set. Obviously, I have to make sure I've got them all because I didn't have time to go through everything. It's quite impressive. They've been turned, wood turned. So they're kind of cool. Hopefully they're complete. These sort of things do go well, and obviously with Christmas coming up, people like playing games. These are something of a vintage feel. I'm hoping they're all in there. I just love things like that. I've got my father's old set from the 40s, which obviously I'm keeping those because I'll be able to sell something else. I have got a space problem here. Right. And in the same vein, again, these are literally straight out of the shed, so they're quite filthy. There's this one. This is a board. And inside we have some more chess pieces. Now I'm thinking these look very similar to these. So there might be a possibility that I can make a complete set and do drafts in here, and these match. Oh man, they smell a bit. I I think mouldy is the polite word. They're going to need a good old clean up and a wipe up. But I think what I've actually got here is a complete set of chess pieces and a complete set of wooden drafts. So I'm quite happy with that. Just glad I saw them all. You can tell they're made the same because look, the horse has that surprise look on his face. So yeah, they're going to need a good airing. Again, sat in a damp garage. So they definitely need some looking after and some TLC. Are the pawns different here? This got a very small headed pawn. Oh no, that's... Yeah, we may have different bits going on there, so I'm going to have to work out what's happening there. But hopefully I'll get a complete set out of it. And it's very old, so that's nice. I picked this up because it's leather and it's kind of like a document case. This was in really good condition. Probably from Morocco, a souvenir, but just a nice little case. Quite nicely made. Yeah, all intact, not falling apart. That's always a good thing. So I'm quite liking that. I like the design on that. It's very simple, geometric. So some things I can sort of list up immediately, and there's other things that are going to take more time. Now. Yeah, again, it's got a slide bottom. This little box here, I always like to look in a box. This. Now, everyone's heard of Rummy Cub. This says Rummy Game. So, is it Rummy Cub? Or has someone made a copy? Rummy Game is played with 106 bricks, corresponding to 2 packs of cards with 2 jokers. I can't remember. I have played Rummy Cub. I used to play it with my mother-in-law. And it's got 1 die with it. It's meant to be more than 1 dice. I don't know. Gonna have to look into it, but it's nice that it's got the destructions with it. These are plastic. The stands that you put your things on. Ooh. You've got the so it's a bit like Rummy Cub, but I think it's slightly different, like Gin Mummy or something maybe. Oh, and these are the little things that hold your stand upright. So I'm hoping it's complete. I will look into the instructions and see. But it all came in a nice case as well, a nice vintage feel. So it's obviously not new, fairly old. I have to make sure it's complete. So if I try and show you, it's kind of like that with the tablet, with all of these in, 1 die and all the stands. So hopefully, I know Rummy Cub is always a good hit, but maybe that's slightly different. I don't know. A bit of research needed, I think. Put heavy things in the bottom. I need to reorganise my Bricabrac stock situation. I certainly do now. Cards, turtle. It's a shame about that Viking longboat thing. Down. Never mind. Here we go. Right, here we go. Let's carry on. Slightly random. Brand new in its packet, a fancy dress. So there'll probably be fancy dress parties and stuff going on, I would imagine, if COVID continues to be manageable. So that's all brand new. I will open it and double check everything's in there. But what's unusual is it's a proper adult size that fits a 14 to 16 UK size, which is quite unusual. I quite like that dress, actually. If it didn't look quite so cheaply made, I might think about it twice. But there we go. Fancy dress. Probably worth it. Oh, now, I picked these up possibly for hubby because he's into drawing. Now, these are oil pastel crayons. I don't think he has any of these, so I might just give them to him. See, because he's experimenting more with drawing in colour. And there are a couple missing. Just 2. Probably the black and the white, I would imagine. Because that's always, oh, no, well, yeah. Yeah, but these look like they're in pretty good nick and they've been very little used. There we So it's like it's a crayon. Don't smell of anything. Well, I was expecting them to smell of something, I don't know. Wax crayons, I suppose. But they're for hubby, because bless him. It's the least I can do. What else have we got? And we're getting to the smaller things. I picked this up, heavy as anything, and that tells me it's trench art. That is definitely the end of the shell. So the size of that shell must have been quite something. I think someone's used it as a candle holder because it's got wax on it. But that's kind of cool. Trench art there. No numbers or anything on it. Nothing that tells me anything about it, but it's cool. And look lovely in it. Oh, thank you. It's very kind. Exactly. It's not Rummy Cub. It's Rummy Game. So someone's either plagiarised it or invented something that's a little bit different. So I like, it's either different good or different like, fake. But I'll investigate. Oh, had to pick this up. Look, a snake. Now, a lot of people are very, very into snakes. He's a handsome cobra. He's been beautifully carved, actually. This sort of cross-hatching. It's really nicely done. A little chippy there. No, I think it's just where he was being made. Probably made in India or something like that. But he's actually got all his fangs, which I'm quite surprised about because, to be fair, they're quite easily knocked out. But I think he'll do rather well. I know if you ever see candlesticks that are like snakes, grab them. There's a lot of people in the kind of Wiccan stroke pagan community who absolutely adore snakes, and the symbolism is many. is much. There is much symbolism. Oh. Countryside auctions. I'm going to have to look up who they are. Right, this. I don't know if it has any value. But it's new and sealed. I mean, it's obviously old. Eau de toilette, 550 mils, Yardley. I mean, do you remember Yardley? It was the sort of thing you gave your nan when you were a kid. They did tweed and Lonthorique and all sorts of things like that. Kiri, Kiri. No idea. Yardley of London, made in England, so it's going to be quite old. And it's unopened. It's not that old because it has a barcode. So that was a real punt. That's like, well, you know, either it's something that's discontinued and someone wants, or it's absolute rubbish. I picked up this little box because there was something rather nice about it. Very grubby. Anyway, you can see the engraving, which has been reverse engraved there. It just looked like a nice quality one. Quite nicely made. People like these sort of trinket boxes for their vanities, dressing tables and things, people that have that sort of thing. Yeah, I just thought that's quite nice. And it's got a good weight to it, so I thought, well, it's not a cheapy one. I picked this up because I thought it was beautiful. I do like a piece of nicely turned wood. Someone obviously bought it. It was obviously in a charity shop once. You see, their stuff ends up all over the place. Night, Jerry. Night. Sleep well. There we go. I just like the feel of that. Sort of a matte finish, two-tone wood. You know, no one signed it or anything, obviously, but again, I just like a bit of treen. Why number 6? I don't know, but there you go. Wondering if the wood is naturally coloured in those different ways or whether someone's stained it. I like a bit of wood. You got a nice box this morning, didn't you, Lex? Oh no, this is very grubby. I don't know how well this is going to do, but it's another box again. It's a lacquerware. Sadly, the outside has seen better days, but if I can clean it up, that is so pretty. With tree, like a mulberry tree. That looks like a mulberry tree. This actually says exclusively for Dan Sab, made in Japan, which is different. Maybe a little clean. But again, it's a nice little thing for a dressing table. Sadly, a bit worn. Told you I found loads of things. You did get a lovely box, didn't you? Yes, that's your walnut box. That look at that stuff is amazing. Only one of him. I don't know if he was meant to be a pair. Very heavy. Yeah, brass. Goggly-eyed fish. I don't think he's an ashtray. I'm not entirely sure what he is. But I just thought he's a bit of fun. Nice bit of brass. Need to clean up, clearly. So it's sort of animals and boxes. There's a different thing. There we go. Another box. This looks more modern to me, but it's got a vintage feel, vintage styly. It's a copper. It looks like it's copper, which is unusual. Nice and clean inside. These little boxes, people sometimes buy them to sort of give gifts in. It's been lacquered so it won't tarnish. It won't get verdigris. So, and it's definitely more modern because you can just see from the sort of that underneath. That's a very modern thing, but vintage style. Quite cute. Got myself a belt buckle. I wonder. It says it's solid brass on the back, obviously silver. How could I resist that? It was just sitting there looking at me. A salt fish. I know you get salt picked, but they're usually ceramic, aren't they? I wonder if brass is. Mind you, salt's fairly inert, isn't it? So, yeah, possibly. I'm going to do some investigation, but thanks for the suggestion. Yes, and Lex is saying the same. Yeah, love that. That might not be going anywhere. I need to find a belt I can attach it to, or get someone to make me one. Right, get into the little bits. This is a bit grubby, but I thought, how fantastic is that? I can't resist painted stuff. It's got birds on it. It has birds on it. Or are they birds? No, maybe they're not. No, I think they're just a bit random, but it's obviously hand painted and quite charming. Oh, and someone has signed it. TL86. There you go. TL86. And it's obviously a decorative bowl rather than an eating one. It's got the little hookette on the top. But, I quite like that style myself. And it's grubby. I'm going in. This was an empty box. Why did I pick it up? Because it's an earring box and that'll be useful for photographing earrings, I thought. Alexander's, Farnham, Guildford and Reigate. So I do find these sort of things quite useful for, itchy nose, for photography and the like. Oh, I've got bits all over me now. Right. I don't know if this is real. It probably isn't. This is Balenciaga. It's a phone case. There we go. Not for sale. I had my doubts, obviously. What's this? The tissue is obviously wrapped in. I don't know. I'd be very careful with anything like this. I thought it was quite funky. That's quite a cool phone case. For a smaller phone, clearly. Not a big one. But I just kind of picked it up because it was there and it was a bit random. Nick says hello. Oh, hello. Hello, Nick. He's chat bombing. Yes, can he hear you? Well, I'm sure we can actually, all the way from Wales. Right, now we're getting into the little bitsies now. A Weight Watchers calculator. This is the Smart Points one, which I believe is slightly more recent. I know nothing about. I know nothing about Weight Watchers at all, but I have sold these. They go for very little, but they go quite quickly. The one there. Are we working? Yes, we are working. So it's like that. Nice little spot tool calculator. I think people decide to give Weight Watchers a go and do it themselves, maybe. Just follow the recipes or the calorie counting, whatever it is. So, yeah, that's the more recent one. There was a different point system I used to sell these for as well. But I know nothing. Oh, no, I thought this was quite nice. It was lying the wrong way up. He's a koala. Not really my sort of thing, but I did notice there's a signature underneath, which of course I couldn't see. Okay. It does have a signature, but it's very hard to make out what it is. But 9175 is the number. You can just about see it there. Hang on. Trying to show you. There we go. So I saw that and thought, well, it's got something written on the bottom, it might be worth a punt. And it is quite nicely done. Not to my taste, but, you know, hey-ho. And it goes on. Where's the other one of that? Oops. Right, sorry. This seems to come in many parts. These are, they look like tiny cups, don't they? You get two tiny cups, sort of chalices for fairies, and then what goes in them are these two little. So in effect, you get very, very tiny candlestick holders. I just thought they were very weird. I wasn't sure what was what, really. I just thought, oh, are they small? Are they meant to be like that? Do they fit? Or are they something else? I thought it was worth researching. They're just like little brass things. Now that I look at them, I'm not so sure. Anyway. Oh, yes. Little box. You got £12 for your last one. Is that the Weight Watcher thing? I would imagine that. Right, well. Okay, standing there in his pants. Hello, Nick, in your pants. Not getting dressed today? No. Okay. I'll give you a digit. Here's a little digit. And it has a little flower on it. I just thought that was quite cute. I don't think it's silver. I'll test it, but I don't think it is. A little mother of pearl flower with nice little abalone panels. It kind of looks rather handmade as thimbles go. Don't know. Yes, it wants to shine a little bit, so we'll try. It's just a tiny little thimble. I don't really go for thimbles, but I saw it in its little box and thought, well, it might be worth having. Right. Yeah. I saw this box and thought, wow, how old is that? Little clowns on it. I think they're clowns. Yeah, little clowns on it. I thought that's quite old. And inside this poor battered little box was some very old and dusty dominoes. But they were a bit unusual because I hadn't seen them. They are very Art Nouveau. Just the patterning. Completely Art Nouveau. They're wooden again. Oh, wow. Okay. Again, I'll have to check and make sure they're here. They all need cleaning up because they are absolutely dusty as anything. But they're just fantastic. I love that. So if they're from like the 20s, that's older than the ones I found before. Edible. Like, have a chocolate, dear. Break your teeth. Yeah, something like that. They do. They don't smell like chocolates, though. They smell like they've been near a campfire. Right, we're getting down to the bottom of the bag. Now, I picked this up because I thought this is very old. Now, who is it with the German? It's Carla, isn't it, who speaks German? Bourbon biscuits, yeah, they do. They're really sweet. Die Dreisack Hausbarzange, Mädchen für alles. Don't really know. But when I kind of looked on the side, I thought, oh, she's cheerful. She's obviously having a moment. I'll have whatever she's having. But in fact, it looks like it's kind of an all-purpose tool. So there are kind of like nippers on it, like pliers. You can use it to open things, crack nuts. There's a bottle top. What's that? Fruit press. What? Good grief. And a can opener. So it's kind of multi-purpose tool. Now it's in a very, very tatty box, which has suffered a little in the damp. Basically, it's that. I thought, what a handy tool. I'll use it myself if it's got no value. Always handy to have an extra pair of nips and snips. Hopefully they're not. No, they're not busted together. It looks like a decent quality. And Dreisack is the name. Solingen, Germany. So German made. Got a little leaflet with it as well. Tell you all about it. So yeah, I've got my curiosity, I think, there. Very strange item, something I hadn't seen before. Dreisack is the brand. A multi-purpose tom for the bar. Ah, gosh, thank you, Veranda Files. Well, there we go. Someone might want that if they're wanting to set up as a professional bar person. Ah, I see. Yes, new old stock vintage drawings. That haul, Andrea and Nick, obviously, was quite incredible. And I kept looking at it to go, oh, I love stationery. I'd ordered a load of that. Especially like the sort of, you've got lovely different coloured Sharpies and just drawing things very much like. Right, we're getting down to the really small things here. I picked this up, put it in because it's Radley leather cream. And I thought that might be rather useful for cleaning a couple of Radley bags that I've got. It's oh, okay. We seem to have a pouch as well. Not entirely sure what we need the pouch for. Or maybe that's what you clean it with because it's a bit like a duster. Okay, don't get my big paws in it, but yeah. So that's quite cute. Either that or I could give it away, put it in with one of the bags and give it as an extra. Oh man, wait, my nose itch. Right, the things that we have left here. It's very bric-a-brac, isn't it? Very bric-a-brac indeed. Right. Last little box. I just thought it was cute. That's not plastic, that's ceramic, or I don't know if it's ceramic or whether it's a stone. Possibly ceramic because it has that as the back. Yeah, I just thought it was quite cute, really. I don't think it's not silver, it's the wrong colour completely. It's far too yellowy. But obviously kind of handmade and really rather sweet. Nice to present a gift in, perhaps. All do. And we'll all go and have a look. Now, I pick these up when I see them, especially in the box. Polka dice, vintage ones, in that nice early plastic. These are in very, very good condition. They're not worn. They don't look like they've been played with much. In fact, I very much doubt they've even been out of the box. Polka dice. I don't play poker, so I know nothing. But they look like they're new old stock. They actually just haven't even been out of the box. Bit of a bashed up box, but there we go. Tiny thing, so easy to post. But again, it's the season of games. I picked this up. Cantata Eau de Toilette Yves Rocher. Oh, that's cute. Tiny little bottle. Again, I don't know this particular perfume, Cantata, but it's basically unopened and unused. So that might be of interest to somebody. I do like perfumes and things. I do find that area interesting, but I don't know nearly enough about it. Promising little box. Again, I like the little boxes as much as anything. But inside, it's kind of come loose. It's a tie rack one. It's not old. It might be vintage, but it's not old. But I thought the subject matter was quite good. Azure Seas, which I think is a cruise ship. I don't know whether this is something that staff would have worn. It's a tie clip. Because it's tie rack, so maybe tie rack made these for the cruise liner. I can't get it in now. There we are. Looks much better in its box. That'll photograph nicely, and somebody might be interested in that. What's that? Then I thought I liked this box. The Orient Jewel Company, 100 Oxford Street, London, W1. Pretty old. I thought, oh, okay, what's within? And I don't know if what's within is what is supposed to have been within or not, because it's, you know, it's kind of like that with a bit of cotton ball. So there is a piece of jewellery. I keep telling him that I like jewellery, but I don't think he comes across it very much. But I thought this was really rather sweet. Elegant. Seems to have all its stones. I love anything green in it. I thought that was so pretty. Just a lovely thing. A bit of tarnish on the clasp, I think, there. But that's not the end of the world. I thought, how lovely. Really wasn't expecting to find anything. Is that the right way around? Yeah. There we go. Green. Oh, there we are. Get the bit that dangles in the right place. I can't do it on a mirror. Back to front. I'm not as bad as I used to be. Nice sparklers. These sparkly bits there. So I thought that was rather fetching. So I thought, I love that. But that was the only bit of jewellery, really. And it's clearly isn't its box. It's not where it's meant to be. It would be in a bigger box. It's got stuffed in there. There's that. And then the very final thing, which is absolutely mingingly grubby, was a watch. Now that might show up. I couldn't really see the brand, but it fascinated me because actually on the back, how does these work? I just tell I don't wear watches. Does that do that? Or does that go like that? I'm going to have to work it out. But actually the back, it has like an open back on it. It's very difficult to see with my fat fingers in the way. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Oh, hello, Kaz. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm going to have to peer at it. Well, Kaz, actually, this is the very last item. But you can always get back. Tag Heuer. Tag Heuer. It says Swiss made. It needs a damn good clean up. I don't know if it's worth anything. I mean, you know, it seemed a bit rude to leave it behind, really. It's a stainless steel strap men's watch. But, you know, when you've actually got a dial that works, I mean, that's unusual. You often get this feature, but it's just there for show. But clearly that's meant to do something. Don't know. Looks like a manual wind. Like I say, it's been out in a shed for a while, so chances are it's going to be a bit poorly, to be honest. But there we go. Very good. Well, I don't know if I can get it working now. I might have to yes. Yeah. I have to look into that. Like I say, that really is grubby. That needs a good old go over with some cleaning product. But yeah, I thought, well, it seems rude not to, really. Does it have any numbers on it? You probably know more about all this sort of thing than I do. Which way does that go? Don't want to break it. Trying to open it up. Ah, you that way? Ah, right, I managed to open it out a bit. Bit difficult to see if it's got any numbers on. I really did my loop. Goodness only knows what I've done with that. I think I've got one in my handbag. What's that say? Jack Hauer, Swiss made. I don't think this one is. Pretty sure this won't be one of theirs. I mean, it has quite a bit of wear to the. You see out there, there's sort of a goldy glow where the. Yeah, not quite sure what's happening there. Yeah, doesn't really want to focus that close up. Oh, I kind of see. There's 1860 Swiss made. I mean, you can see the mechanism all in the back. It's quite cool. But yeah, it's. I suspect this probably. I mean, it could be a fake, I suppose. Or what's the thing about that seems to move? Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. I was just quite excited at an unexpected haul because actually, I reckon our boot fair, which is Sunday morning one, is in a field on a slope, and I think if I took the Bessie Bee up there, I probably wouldn't get her out again. And there's a very, very strong possibility of rain on Sunday for us down here in the southeast of England. So I think we might not be doing it. But there we go. We'll see. We'll see. But it's a shame because my friend Anne obviously wants to sell. I just think it might be a bit of an ask. It's going to be horrible. So, excuse me. I obviously got up too early, didn't I? Oh, Kelly, hello. And almost goodbye because I'm off. Got lots of bits. Welcome to watch back. You probably know more about some of these things than I do. Yes, I've got a pile of washing to get through this afternoon and a friend coming home for dinner this evening and I'm cooking for her, so that'll be nice. While hubby and his friends go out for a beer, we'll stay in and have a big chin wag, which is always lovely. So I will see you all later. I doubt I'll have a boot fair haul from this weekend, but who knows? So take care and I will see you all soon. Thank you for joining me. What am I cooking? Beef stroganoff, actually. We've been quite veggie this week, but I'm doing beef stroganoff for her, made with steak and mushrooms and sour cream and spices and things with a horseradish mash. I'm treating her. She hasn't been able to go out very much. She's had a very poorly foot, and that's gone on for too long and a long, long time. So, yeah, get her over for the evening and feed her nicely. Oh, you'd love it. You really love it. Very carnivorous. So, bye-bye. I'll see you later. Ta-ra. Oh, good waving. Yes, I want to.